The moment I handed my bride over to the one that got away, everyone expected me to break down. Instead, I calmly unpinned the groom's boutonniere from my lapel. Anna stood on the altar, her wedding dress as white as fresh snow, making me look like a pathetic clown in comparison. When her old flame, Leo, made a melodramatic show of slitting his wrist, I watched her rush over to him, her face a mask of pure anguish. Suddenly, this whole wedding felt like a goddamn joke. Anna, please, don't marry him. Leo's voice shattered the silence of the ceremony. Anna, who was always as cool and composed as frost on a window pane, completely lost her composure. Her eyes were wild with panic and pain as she pleaded with me to save Leo's life. The guest stares felt like daggers, all pointed at me, the star of this ridiculous farce. And all I could do was quietly, without a fight, give up my place as the groom. Seeing how understanding I was, just like always, Anna's eyes welled up. I promise, this is the last time I'll put you through this, she whispered. After the wedding, we'll go get our marriage license. She'd forgotten this was the 96th time she had mercilessly hurt me. I had no intention of continuing this charade. I was just waiting for her to fulfill the last 3 promises. Once the debt for saving my grandmother's life was paid, we would go our separate ways, never to see each other again. And so, I walked off the stage in humiliation. What else could I do? I was always just Leo's stand-in. Now, I was simply returning to my proper place. Look, they're the ones who are truly meant for each other, a guest whispered. Following their gazes, I saw Anna and Leo standing side by side, their fingers intertwined. They looked perfect together, a beautiful couple. But the ceremony didn't resume as expected. Staff members began walking onto the stage, replacing the placards, and even handing out new invitations to every guest. Anna received one too. She opened it slowly. The bride's name was still hers, but the groom's name had been changed to Leo. Anna saw it all. She knew Leo's suicide attempt was just a manipulative ploy for attention, but she still looked at him with nothing but adoration. Leo, you're being so reckless, she murmured, gently chiding him. Don't you ever do that again. What if you had really gotten hurt? Her only concern was whether Leo was injured. She had completely forgotten that this wedding was supposed to be my reward for giving up a career I loved. She had no idea that marrying her was the secret wish I tucked into a glass jar every year on my birthday, a wish I never dared let her see. Once every trace of me was erased from the venue, the wedding finally began again. But when it came time to exchange rings, Leo hesitated. After Anna asked him what was wrong several times, he finally spoke, his voice meek. I've been sick for so long, I don't have many friends left, he said. I want Noah to be my best man, but I'm afraid of offending him. Everyone turned to look at me with strange expressions. I just stared at Anna. My wedding had been stolen, and I was already the butt of every joke. Would she really be cruel enough to make me stand up there and watch her marry someone else? Seeing the once bright, sunny young man now so timid and cautious, Anna's eyes softened with pity. She looked at me, her gaze pleading. Noah, you already gave him the wedding. Being his best man isn't too much to ask, is it? Anna seemed to forget that Leo had faked his death and disappeared when we were at the peak of our love. It was because she could never get over him that she chose me, his replacement. Now that her first love was back, it was foolish of me to think she could ever have any real feelings for me. I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. Does this count as one of the things? I asked. Anna frowned, annoyed. She felt like she was forgetting something important. She was about to ask, but seeing Leo on the verge of tears, she gave up. Yes, it counts, she nodded curtly. Fine, I said. I'll do it. My grandmother, the only family I had left, was being cruelly tormented by her illness. Anna descended like an angel, hiring the world's top doctors and securing the most expensive private room for her. Because of Anna, my grandmother lived for another year, passing away peacefully and happy. On her deathbed, Anna asked how I could ever repay her. Her gaze lingered on my face for a long time. Just stay with me. That's enough. I knew she was just seeing someone else when she looked at me. Ms. Sterling, there has to be a time limit. Call me Anna, she said, suppressing a deep sadness in her eyes. She spoke casually. A time limit? How about you do 99 things for me, unconditionally? Or, after I've hurt you 99 times, the debt will be cleared. She had forgotten all of this, but it didn't matter anymore. This was number 97. Just 2 more to go, and we would be even. I took a deep breath and walked slowly toward the stage. As I passed their beautiful wedding cake, I saw a strange, triumphant smirk on Leo's face. Before I could process it, a powerful force shoved me from behind. I stumbled forward, crashing into the cake trolley. The magnificent cake was instantly flattened, and my knees slammed hard against the metal frame. A sharp, electric pain shot through my leg. The guests gasped. On stage, Leo sighed dramatically. Noah, if you didn't want to be the best man, you could have just said so. You didn't have to pretend to fall and ruin the cake I spent so much time designing. The guests behind me, who had clearly seen what happened, started jeering. Stick to what you know. That acting is just embarrassing. I had been worried, watching Anna walk towards me. But after hearing those words, the light in her eyes dimmed. She looked at me, a disappointment palpable. Your clothes are dirty. Go change, she said softly, her gaze shifting away. Leo wrapped his arm around hers possessively, a faint smile on his lips. It's okay. I don't mind the small details. Let's not hold up the ceremony. Anna opened her mouth as if to say something more, but seeing me already limping onto the stage, she closed it with a sigh. Every step sent a wave of pain through my leg, like 1,000 ants gnawing at my bones. Seeing my struggle, the worry in Anna's eyes deepened. What's wrong with your leg? She asked, a hint of urgency in her voice. Beside her, Leo shrugged, his tone mocking. Noah, you need to practice more. If you're going to fake an injury, you should have gone for your throwing arm. That would have gotten you more sympathy from Anna. Try that next time. Anna's face darkened instantly. A flash of anger crossed her features, but she quickly suppressed it. She glanced at the surrounding guests and warned me in a low voice. Cut it out with your little tricks. Don't embarrass yourself any further. We'll talk about this at home. I managed a bitter smile. I looked around at the room full of sycophants. When I was at the top of my game, they bowed and scraped. Now that Leo was back in favor, they were all too eager to kick me while I was down to distance themselves. Thankfully, the rest of the ceremony went smoothly. Leo didn't cause any more trouble. As the guests began to leave, I was about to head out myself when Leo called my name. Noah, don't be in such a hurry to leave. We'll need the best man for the after-party tonight. His lips curled into a smirk, his eyes full of mockery. I clenched my fists, looking to Anna, hoping she would step in. Anna raised an eyebrow, and for once, actually scolded Leo. Leo, stop messing around. Go wait in the car. After Leo left, she turned to me and explained softly, don't listen to him. It's just a small get-together with some old friends tonight. She glanced at my injured leg, her tone indifferent. You're hurt, so I won't take you. Go home and get some rest. We have plenty of time. I'll take you next time. With that, she turned and walked away, the sharp click of her heels echoing on the floor. I watched her go, a storm of emotions churning inside me. She had no idea. Once the debt was paid, I was leaving. There was no next time for us. And I had arranged for a driver to take me home. Back at the house, I rolled up my pant leg. My knee was a dark, ugly bruise, like a sky obscured by storm clouds. I gritted my teeth and applied some ointment. Soon after, a delivery arrived from Anna. One gift was a limited edition collaboration watch, its face glittering under the light. The other was the key to a brand new Porsche, sleek and luxurious. She had sent a note specifying that the watch was an apology for taking my wedding, and the car was for forcing me to be the best man. Expressionless, I carried the gifts to the collection room. I placed the first in the glass cabinet labeled 96 and the second in 97. The housekeeper, holding a tray, looked on with envy. Miss Sterling's gifts get more expensive every time. She must really love you to death. I just smiled, saying nothing, my gaze sweeping over the wall of glass cabinets. My heart felt heavy and bitter. Each of these gifts was compensation for the pain she had caused me, and like a fool, I had treasured every single one. Looking at the last two empty cabinets, I knew the day I would leave was very, very close. I went back to my room and packed a small bag with my essential documents. I didn't want to take anything she had given me. I was only looking for the one thing my grandmother had left me. Though I had married into her life, my grandmother, afraid Anna would feel slighted, had secretly melted down her own heirloom gold bracelet to make a pair of earrings and a set of wedding rings. The earrings and Anna's ring were gifts from my grandmother. I just wanted to take my ring with me. A few days ago, Anna had suddenly asked to borrow my ring. She probably forgot where she put it and just tossed it into her jewelry box. I searched through her entire jewelry collection, a dazzling array of expensive pieces, but my simple ring was nowhere to be found. I was about to ask the housekeeper when Anna came home with Leo. He was carrying takeout, a specific noodle dish from a place I loved. It's not leftovers. I had to make it fresh for you, with all your favorite toppings, Anna said with a smile, a hint of warmth in her eyes. She was always so thoughtful in these small ways, which had often tricked me into believing she might actually love me. I knew it was just an illusion. I ignored the food. Where's my ring? Leo spoke up first, holding up his hand to show me a thick gold signet ring. Noah, you mean the wedding band? I saw how Anna never took hers off, so I got curious and borrowed the other one from her. I had them both melted down to make this, he said, feigning innocence. Sorry about that. I acted on my own. How much was it? I'll pay you back. A sharp pain pierced my chest. My voice trembled. Anna, that was our wedding ring. Anna paused, her chopsticks hovering in midair. She looked at me, a flicker of confusion in her eyes. It was just a formality. What kind of ring do you want? I'll buy you a new one. She had forgotten. It was the last thing my grandmother gave me. Nothing could replace it. I stepped away from her touch. No, thanks. I don't need one, I said coldly. Leo's voice immediately broke into a sob. He took off the signet ring. Noah, it's all my fault. I had a sudden episode and insisted on melting them down. Don't blame Anna. If I've ruined things between you two, I might as well just die. Anna wasn't short on money. I knew that better than anyone. Leo knew exactly how important that ring was to me and had done this on purpose. But Anna seemed completely oblivious to his scheming. She had come home intending to apologize to me, but the moment Leo started his performance, she rushed to his side to comfort him. It's just a couple of rings, and his voice, laced with impatience, echoed in the dining room. Melting them down to make him a signet ring is fine. I was worried it wouldn't be enough for him. What is there to apologize for? As I walked away, I heard Leo point at my retreating back. What about Noah? He asked, his voice full of feigned concern. Don't worry about him, Anna soothed. I'll make it up to him. I listened to their conversation as I walked upstairs and quietly closed my bedroom door. My parents died when I was young. My grandmother raised me. And now, I couldn't even protect the last thing she left me. Maybe this was her way of telling me from heaven that this toxic relationship had to end. I took out the folded piece of paper from my notebook, the one covered in a dense list of numbers. At the very end, I wrote down 98. Anna had silently come up behind me. Before I could hide the paper, she snatched it from my hand. She held it, her brow furrowed in a deep frown, a powerful sense of unease rising within her. What are you writing? I quickly grabbed the paperback. Nothing, just scribbling. My unusual reaction surprised her. A memory seemed to surface. You still remember that time we tried to win that stuffed animal over 20 times and failed? She was talking about a carnival game we'd seen on a walk once. She'd suddenly wanted one of the prizes, so I played. The game was to write the numbers 1 to 100 without making a mistake. No matter how hard I tried, I kept messing up. We left empty-handed. I knew she had misunderstood, but I was too tired to explain. I just nodded vaguely. Recalling that rare, happy memory brought a faint smile to Anna's usually icy face. It was just a toy. It's not like I can't afford to buy you one. Don't get so hung up on it. Come see the gift I got you. She snapped her fingers, and several people carried in a new, solid gold trophy. Noah, here's to you winning another championship next season. I'm sorry about the ring. Consider this trophy my apology. Anna's face was confident. Everyone else in the room looked on with envious, starstruck eyes. My reaction was flat. Put it in the collection room. Seeing my lack of enthusiasm, Anna was taken aback. Isn't this what you wanted by being with me? This trophy is worth enough to buy a mansion. What's there to be unhappy about? I looked up at her sharply, my eyes filled with disappointment. So, in her eyes, I was only with her for her money. No wonder her gifts kept getting more and more extravagant. If she had paid even the slightest bit of attention, she would have noticed that I never used a single thing she gave me. Maybe some people crave a life of luxury and glamour, but all I ever wanted was a loving partner by my side. Anna waited a long time for a satisfactory answer that never came. Finally, she stomped her foot in frustration and left, taking Leo with her. They didn't come back all night. Throughout the night, Leo kept sending me photos and videos, flaunting their time together, taunting me. I put my phone on silent and slept soundly. The next morning, Anna sent me a cold iMessage with an address, telling me to meet her. She had stayed out all night, and for the first time, I hadn't tried to find her. I knew she must be furious. I also knew this meeting was a trap, but the thought that this would be the last time, that after this I would finally be free, made me go. I called a car and headed to the location. The place Anna had chosen was remote and isolated. When I arrived, she was nowhere in sight. I was about to call her when Leo appeared with a group of men in black suits. "Don't bother looking for her," Leo said, a triumphant smile spreading across his face. "I'm the one who asked you here." I raised an eyebrow, a sense of dread washing over me. "What is this? It's not just the starting quarterback position I want." Leo's tone was arrogant. "I want your captaincy too. Anna will give it to you," I said coldly. Anna adored him. She would pluck the stars from the sky for him if he asked. Why would he need to drop the act and resort to force for a simple team captaincy? This was pointless. I turned to leave, but the men in black blocked my path. "But Noah," Leo's face twisted into a vicious grin. "If you don't retire, even if I get the position, I won't feel secure." The men forced me to the ground. A wooden bat slammed down hard on my right hand. I gritted my teeth against the searing pain. "Leo, are you insane? If you destroy my hand, how are you going to explain this to Anna?" Leo stepped on my shattered bones, his expensive shoe grinding into the injury. His voice was cold and mocking. "Anna won't believe you. Besides," he sneered, "with your hand ruined, you're worthless. What makes you think Anna would keep you around?" "Keep going," he ordered. The men in black moved like shadows, focusing their attack solely on my hand. The dull thud of the bat echoed again and again, a merciless percussion to my despair. I don't know how long it lasted. Time seemed to freeze. The pain became a dull, numb throbbing, my body feeling disconnected from myself. Finally, they scattered, leaving me in a heap on the ground with a disheveled Leo. He had rolled in the dirt, and after biting down on a fake blood capsule, crimson trickled from the corner of his mouth. I groaned, trying to move. My ears were ringing, a low hum that sounded like a helicopter hovering overhead. Soon, a helicopter did descend, its powerful rotors shattering the night silence. Anna rushed out, her worried gaze landing instantly on me. She saw my bloodied right hand, and her heart seemed to clench. A tear escaped her eye, glistening in the moonlight. "Who did this? Does it hurt? I'm taking you to the hospital right now," Anna said frantically, reaching out to help me up. Just then, Leo crawled to her feet, his voice weak. "Anna, it's all my fault. These guys were after me. Noah only got hurt trying to protect me. Please, take him to get treated. Don't worry about my internal injuries. I'd rather die here today than let anything happen to his championship-winning arm." Only then did Anna notice Leo, who was now spitting up blood. She panicked. "Noah has won so many championships. He has nothing left to prove. His hand, if it's ruined, it's ruined. Your life is what's most important." She looked at me, her eyes filled with apology and conflict. I knew Leo's tricks were transparent. If Anna just looked closely, she would see through them. But she chose to believe his lies. I understood this was just her excuse for her favoritism, and I was tired of listening. "Anna, this is the last time." I looked at her, my eyes devoid of light, as if all hope had been extinguished. Seeing my expression, a wave of panic washed over her, a sudden, inexplicable fear that she was about to lose something incredibly important. She was about to speak when Leo suddenly coughed up a large mouthful of blood and collapsed, wailing in agony. Anna's mind went blank, and all her earlier doubts vanished. Leo's injuries are too severe. I'll come back for you as soon as I get him to the hospital. Wait for me, she promised. Then, she was gone, the helicopter disappearing into the distance, leaving me alone in the desolate, dark place. The only light came from a few distant street lamps. I pulled out my phone to call a car, but every request was canceled. I sighed in frustration and just stood there waiting. After a long time, a notification popped up on my phone. It was a message from Leo. Noah, I can make Anna choose not to save you. Do you believe me? Before I could even process the meaning of his words, my phone rang. It was Anna. Leo's injuries are critical. I can't get away right now. You'll have to get a ride back yourself. I'll reimburse you for the fare. Use my credit card for whatever you need. I'm so sorry. I could hear the frantic sounds of a medical emergency in the background. Then she hung up. There were no more calls. I knew I was on my own. I dragged my exhausted body for what felt like miles before a kind stranger finally stopped and gave me a ride to the hospital. But it was too late. The doctors said that while my hand would heal, I would never be able to play professionally again. The news was playing on the TV in the waiting room. It showed a distraught Anna mobilizing the city's best doctors to treat Leo's injuries. Her haggard face and anxious expression were broadcast for all to see. Everyone was marveling at their epic love story. Meanwhile, I was at the team's headquarters, submitting my letter of resignation. Professional athletes can't just quit. But back when things were good, Anna, in a fit of adoration, had fought for a special clause in my contract that allowed me to leave without any financial penalty. The board had protested unanimously. The dispute dragged on until a condition was added. I could leave, but only if I agreed to permanent retirement. At the time, neither of us ever imagined it would come to this. The team manager looked at my hand with pity. He walked me out personally. The retirement announcement will go out as soon as you give the word. Noah, have you thought about what you'll do next? He asked with genuine concern. I smiled, a bitter, helpless expression. I think I'll travel. Anywhere is fine, as long as Anna isn't there. After saying goodbye to the manager, I went home. The house was silent. A housekeeper stood waiting for me, holding Anna's 99th gift, the deed to the mansion. I took the deed and locked it in the final glass cabinet. Then I took out my piece of paper and wrote the number 99. On the back, I wrote my farewell letter to Anna. The debt is paid. We owe each other nothing. Anna, we're breaking up. I picked up my small bag and walked out of the house. The sky was overcast, as if mourning my fate. I bought a ticket, tossed my phone into a trash can, and walked through the gate. Anna, for the rest of our lives, let's never meet again. The moment the plane lifted off the ground, Anna burst into my bedroom with a team of top specialists. Noah, I'm back. Let me see your hand. How is it? The room was empty. The only thing, there was the piece of paper on the desk, fluttering in the breeze, the numbers 1 to 99 starkly visible. The unease in Anna's heart intensified. She walked to the desk, picked up the paper, and was about to examine it when the housekeeper rushed in. Miss Sterling, it's terrible. Mr. Carter has announced his retirement. He included a copy of his medical evaluation. Anna was stunned. The paper slipped from her fingers, landing face down, revealing the 2 lines written on the back. When she saw the words, she thought she was hallucinating. She picked it up, reading it over and over, finally accepting that it was my breakup letter. My name is Noah Carter. When I made the decision to retire, I knew Anna would be furious. She snatched the phone from the housekeeper's hand. The retirement announcement on the screen was a dagger to her eyes. A heavy weight settled in her chest, making it hard to breathe. Rage surged through her as she shakily dialed the club's number. Noah Carter is retiring? This is huge. Why didn't anyone tell me? Anna's voice was a raw, hoarse whisper. The manager on the other end was stunned by her fury. Ms. Sterling, I did call to tell you about this. But you said Leo's condition was critical and that we shouldn't bother you no matter what happened. Anna froze, feeling as if she'd been struck by lightning. A memory flashed through her mind. She had received a call like that. The manager had been hemming and hawing, and she, completely frayed by the situation with Leo, had shut him down immediately. If she had known the call was about me, she would never have hung up. His resignation still needed my approval. How could you act on your own? Anna bit her lip, her knuckles turning white as her anger threatened to erupt. The manager sighed wearily. Miss Sterling, have you forgotten? A standard player's resignation has to go through the proper channels. But you fought for that special privilege for Noah. He could leave without penalty, without advance notice. The only condition was retirement. Anna's grip on the phone tightened, as if she wanted to crush it. She remembered the contract signing. She had been so angry about the unfair clauses. She had fought tooth and nail to get me that special privilege. The old men on the board had yelled at her for days. She'd yelled right back, calling more than a dozen meetings. In the end, they compromised. Unconditional resignation was fine, but it had to be paired with retirement. I had seen how unhappy she still was with the outcome and had gently taken her hand. Don't be angry. I had told her, my voice soft but firm. As long as you're here, I'm never going to leave. You don't have to fight for this for me. It doesn't matter if you use it or not, she had insisted. I just can't stand to see you being treated unfairly. The memories flooded back, filling Anna with regret and self-loathing. She never thought the privilege she had fought so hard for would actually be used. I had said I would never leave her. How could this be happening? She was consumed by a profound anxiety, the same suffocating feeling she'd had when she thought Leo had died. On the phone, the manager was muttering, besides, with his hand injured like that, it'll be hard enough for him to live a normal life, let alone play professionally. It's better to retire at his peak. At least that way, no one will forget him. Anna's heart seized. What's wrong with his hand? She asked urgently. How bad is it? The manager sighed heavily. It's bad. They didn't touch the rest of him, just went for his hand. They were trying to destroy his career. It's vicious. The worst part is the doctor said if he had gotten treatment sooner, there might have been a chance. But he waited too long. No other injuries, just his right hand completely shattered. Anna stared at the medical report published online, and the world went dark. She felt like she had missed something vital. But right now, only one thought consumed her. Find Noah. Noah, where are you? Pick up the phone. You don't get to say we're breaking up until I say so. Anna's voice was choked with sobs. She dialed my number again and again, but all she heard was the long, empty ringtone, a sound that felt like my silent, cruel rejection. The housekeeper stood by, crying softly at the sight of Anna's despair. Miss Sterling, please don't be so upset. Maybe Mr. Carter just needs some time alone. If you give him some space, maybe he'll come back on his own. Anna remembered my hopeless expression from the day before, my quiet words. This is the last time. She finally understood what I had meant. Tears streamed down her face, and she collapsed to her knees, her cries raw and broken. I'm sorry, Noah. If I had taken you to the hospital first, would your hand be okay? I shouldn't have stayed with Leo. I should have sent someone to get you. I could have done that. Arranging for a car would have been nothing for her. But at that moment, with Leo's critical condition, her mind had gone completely blank. The sound of hurried footsteps came from behind her. Anna's heart leaped with a flicker of hope. She turned, expecting to see me. But it was Leo. Anna, it's not your fault. It's mine. Someone like me doesn't deserve to live. Why did that car accident just give me amnesia? It should have just killed me. Leo cried, his face a mask of anguish. Usually, whenever Leo acted like this, Anna would drop everything to comfort him. But now, she could barely manage her own emotions. How could she possibly have the energy to cater to his? You should be in bed at the hospital. What are you doing here? Anna's voice was weary and flat. I saw the news about Noah retiring. I knew you'd be upset, so I came to be with you, Leo said, his eyes full of concern. Noticing that Anna wasn't showing her usual pity, Leo dropped the pathetic act. He gently took her hand, a strange, unreadable smile on his face. Don't worry. Noah is just being childish, throwing a tantrum. I'll stay by your side until we find him. That reminded Anna that she had the resources to launch a search. She had been in such a panic before that she couldn't think straight. Now, a little calmer, she immediately made the calls, putting people on it. She decided to stay home, just in case I came back. As she sat in the quiet house, she started replaying the events of the past few days. She knew she had been wrong not to get me help first. But at the time, it felt like a life-or-death situation, and I had always been so reasonable. Besides, she had compensated me for it. Thinking of the compensation, she called the housekeeper over. "The deed to the house. Are you sure he received it?" The housekeeper nodded respectfully. "Yes, Miss Sterling. Mr. Carter put it in the collection room, just like all the other gifts." "Oh, and by the way, the collection room is finally full." Anna froze. Something clicked in her mind, and she ran towards the collection room. The room was filled with the extravagant gifts she had given me, but something felt wrong. She remembered that not all the gifts were here. She had never understood why I had insisted on building this massive display case, with cabinets meticulously numbered from 1 to 99. Once, unable to contain her curiosity, she had asked, "What happens when all the cabinets are full?" The housekeeper had joked, "Mr. Carter must love you so much. He's probably waiting to fill up to give you a huge surprise." At the time, I had my back to her. A small smile touched my lips. "A surprise? I guess you could call it that." She hadn't thought much of it then, just laughed and said, "You're being so mysterious." Now I'm getting excited. I can't wait to fill them all up and see what this surprise is. Now, clutching my breakup letter, the endless, unanswered rings of my phone echoing in her mind, she finally understood. The surprise was our breakup. The surprise was me disappearing from her life completely. But why? She frowned, completely bewildered. She couldn't figure out the significance of the number 99. After a long wait, she finally got a call. "We found something." Anna shot up from the sofa, her eyes shining with excitement. "Where is he? Take me to him now." There was a weary sigh on the other end of the line. "Miss Sterling, please calm down. We have confirmation that Mr. Carter left the country. We also found the phone he threw away. As for where he went after that, we have no leads. It's highly likely he's using a new identity. I had thrown away my phone, left everything behind, even my identity. It was clear I was determined to leave for good." Anna bit her lip, a look of grim determination on her face. "Check his phone. See if there's anything unusual. We're working on cracking the password now," the person on the phone replied. "You don't have to do that," she said, her voice firm. "Bring the phone to me. If he hasn't changed it, the password is still my birthday." While she waited, Leo stood by, watching her with a worried expression. He hesitated, then stepped forward. Noah's probably just upset and hiding somewhere. Don't worry too much. Anna just gave a non-committal and ignored him. It was strange. She used to be so madly in love with Leo that she had found a replacement for him. But now, with him standing right beside her, all she could see in her mind was my warm smile. She found her gaze drifting around the room, seeing my ghost everywhere. There I was sketching at the desk. There I was bringing her a steaming cup of coffee, the steam like a soft caress. There I was massaging her shoulders with those strong, comforting hands. And there I was, quietly handling her tedious paperwork, my focused expression making her heart skip a beat. Leo followed her gaze. He picked up a pair of matching couples mugs from a table. A flicker of something unreadable crossed his face. Then he accidentally let one slip. It shattered on the floor. The sharp sound broke the silence and Anna's reverie. She frowned. Leo immediately knelt to pick up the pieces. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I didn't mean to. I'll fix it." He reached for a sharp piece and instantly cut his finger.